Hi, I'm Sam Tucker, and I'm one of the few people on the planet who have touched an iPhone 10, Android 10, and Blackberry 10. And after trying all three, I know which one's the best. And so today, welcome to why iOS is simply better. Starting with beauty. Let's face it, Apple makes some pretty products. I mean, the original iPhone was a stunner, and the latest titanium one is being copied by the competition. I mean, there's a reason that when you Google something like home office, all the pretty pictures have a Mac in it. And it's because Apple makes beautiful things. Not necessarily practical things, but things that you wouldn't mind having sex with. Whereas, there's a lot of ugly Androids out there. Even at Samsung, they got rid of one of their sexiest items ever, DJ Co. And I'll never forgive them for that. Even the software looks a bit prettier than Android. I mean, the home screen is classy and all the icons and widgets are all polished and nice. Well, except for this local taxi app in the city I'm in. Yuck. I mean, if that's what your taxi icon looks like, I think I'd rather walk. The second reason that iOS is simply better is because it just works. The way that Apple wants it to. That's right, while Android might let users install side-loaded apps by default and play around in debugging mode, and sometimes even let people install different versions of Android on their phones, it doesn't always go smoothly. Such as when I switched over to the Blackberry Key 1 for a little bit, there were a couple of times when the phone rang, but there was no button to answer it. And that's Android's fault, not Blackberry's. As we all know, Blackberry is perfect. Let me know when you want the Blackberry is better video. Anyway, with the iPhone, there's only one way to do things, and that's the Apple way. I mean, all iPhones are basically the same. They're all running the latest software that Apple lets them, because Apple nags you to death to install the update. And there's only one app store, pretty much, where you have to follow Apple's rules. Look, yes, it is a prison, but it's a very nice prison, and everything is very clean and orderly, and you have to pay a lot of money to go to that prison. And if you want to talk to anyone outside of the Apple prison, well, you can do that through the green bubble glass area. Which leads me to my third point, the ecosystem. Or more like, the ecosystem. Because, for better or worse, Apple doesn't just build a walled garden around you, but around your family and friends as well. And it's just easier to connect to people if they have the same OS. For instance, on a recent holiday with family, since we all had iPhones, we could all easily airdrop our photos to each other. I can use FaceTime to chat with the family back in Australia, and it's a lot easier to share things like shopping lists and notes with my wife using my iPhone, rather than having to use Apple's slow web interface on Android. Or, God forbid, use a third-party app. Because rather than download an app that works on Android too, most us iPhone people just say,
buy your mom an iPhone.
Exactly, don't be difficult. And that is why iOS is simply better. And to all of you out there who say that Android is actually the best, like I did in my last video, well, guess what? iOS is basically becoming Android anyway, so well done to you.
Subscribe today.
Alright, now that we're in the credit scene, yes, we can say that Blackberry really was the truest and the loserest. They lost badly. Hey, check out the Android is Simply Better video and let me know which one you want next in the series. Windows is Simply Better? Linux? Let me know in the comments.